haga frío o haga calor, la fogata es la mejor, es un ritmo que... Sancocho de pescado y este es de costilla de res.
Res al grill y chicharrón.
It drains people emotionally.
We risk becoming an island of strangers.
It's appalling language.
My name is Sam.
Mi nombre es Gerardo Urbano.
My name is Sam. I'm from Afghanistan and I'm 24 years old. I study politics and international studies in University of Warwick.
Mi nombre es Gerardo Urbano, tengo 49 años, trabajo como chef en el restaurante La Fogata.
Sam was 21 when he left Kabul in Afghanistan to seek refuge in the UK. Now, he studies at the University of Warwick in Coventry.
Life in Afghanistan wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. I came from a political family and the good thing was that I had the family support in Afghanistan. After the Taliban takeover in 15th of August, we couldn't stay in Afghanistan anymore because our family worked with the allies. And it was dangerous for us to stay in Afghanistan. And that's why we left.
And do you still have family back there? Or?
At the moment, I do not have any family members in Afghanistan. Either everyone left or some of them went missing.
Okay.
The asylum system is a challenge for every asylum seeker. When I came to UK, I didn't have any phone or a computer, and I didn't know what was happening to me, and I was just being relocated to different places, and it was a stressful journey while I was seeking asylum. I don't want to go back in time, and I hope that nobody go through that system because it's just confusing and it drains people emotionally.
I'm Sonia Lenigan. I am the editor of Free Movement and I'm a qualified immigration solicitor.
Once a person arrives in the UK, they need to register their asylum claim. So they do that by contacting the Home Office and booking a screening appointment. Screening appointment is the formal registration of the asylum claim. And the person will be asked a few basic questions at that point in time. And then they have to wait for their big or substantive asylum interview. And that's the long one that could take a day. It might be less, it could even be more. And that is where the Home Office will take them through their whole story and the reasons that they need to be granted asylum in the UK. And then after that, the person waits for a decision. And I mean, it sounds quite straightforward the way I've just walked through it, but actually it can take a really long time because of delays within the asylum system. And then once the person gets their decision, either they're granted refugee status and they will get leave to remain in the UK for 5 years. After that time, they can apply for indefinite leave to remain. And then if they're refused, then odds are they will probably appeal, and that then goes into the tribunal system instead. And that is where, once the case is prepared, a judge will make a decision on whether or not the Home Office was right to refuse asylum. And the appeal will either be allowed or dismissed.
So that's how the asylum system works for now. But soon, this could change. With Labour's proposed border security, asylum and immigration bill and its new immigration white paper, the government wants to tighten up the rules and make it easier to refuse entry or asylum to those who break the rules, including people who arrive in the UK with the intention to claim asylum when they haven't been given the green light before leaving, meaning people like Sam wouldn't be eligible anymore. It would also increase the waiting time to get settlement and then citizenship from 5 to 10 years.
I'm extremely unhappy about the change. It restricts people's ability to travel. It damages integration. They're sort of stuck here without the ability to ever become British, even though they might have been here for 10, 20 years. So yeah, it's an appalling way to treat people. These are people who the UK has accepted are in need of protection, and we have offered them that protection. But now we're saying, we'll protect you, but you'll never be one of us. And I don't think that is a fair way to treat people.
And when you talk about we'll protect you, but you'll never be one of us, is that something that you feel in Keir Starmer's speech?
Now, in a diverse nation like ours, and I celebrate that, these rules become even more important. Without them, we risk becoming an island of strangers, not a nation that walks forward together.
It's appalling language, especially from someone who was previously a human rights barrister. I don't understand how you can believe in human rights at all and use that sort of language and talk about people in that way. But we are what we are.
Net migration in the year ending December 2024 was 431,000, which was half of the previous year. In December 2012, it was 195,000. According to the Home Office, just under half of asylum claims, excluding dependents, which received an initial decision in the year ending March 2025, were granted, lower than the grant rate of 61% in the previous year. In 2024, Afghans were the second most common nationality amongst asylum seekers. Between 2014 and March 2025, around 34,200 Afghans had been resettled to the UK. Once Sam arrived in the UK, he dreamed of getting into university.
I'm studying politics and international studies to create change. My dream is to create more schools for women in Afghanistan. Getting into university as an asylum seeker is a hell of a journey. It took me 1 year and 2 months to apply for university, and while I was applying, I was living on £40 a week. I didn't have access to a phone, internet and a laptop, and I used to go to the library to prepare for my university application. I didn't have any qualification because leaving Afghanistan in hurry, I didn't brought any documentation.
£40 a week is where people are in accommodation where there is no catering available. So for example, if someone is stuck in a hotel, I think they get even less. I think it's less than £10 a week. The types of accommodation that people are put in, the conditions are often terrible. The thing that I think a lot of people overlook is the fact that people who are waiting for a decision on their asylum claim, they are banned from working in the UK. So they have no other choice. They can't go out and support themselves. They're literally stuck.
I was lucky that Warwick gave me a second chance. They allowed me to write an essay to showcase my abilities to study, and after that I got the scholarship to study in the University of Warwick. So I joined STAR to continue teaching English to asylum seekers, because I think teaching English will make a huge difference in asylum seekers' life, and if they understand English they can navigate the asylum system better. So I work with STAR to advocate for better access to higher education for asylum seekers around Warwick and nationally with other universities as well. The best moment was that when I first went to the hotel as a teacher, and all the people who were living in that hotel knew me from the phone, and they thought that I was just relocated back from home office, but no, I was there to teach English. And that was the first time for them that they felt hope, and that's where I started to kind of think about advocating for routes to higher education for asylum seekers, because I think that's where for them started that this kind of shining light that, oh, I can study as well.
Nearly 100 miles away from the University of Warwick, Gerardo cooks Colombian specialties at a restaurant La Fogata, at the heart of Elephant and Castle, which is home to the biggest Colombian population in the English capital. But last November, the United Kingdom added Colombia back to the list of countries needing a visa to travel here. This has made a big impact on Gerardo's family and his business.
De Palmira, los colombianos, soy de Palmira, Palmira Valle del Cauca. Europeos también, porque como... me vine desde España al Reino Unido en el año 2012 para trabajar aquí en el Reino Unido. En el 2008, 2009, 2010 hubo una recesión muy grande en España, en el cual no había trabajo, y pues empezamos a emigrar de nuevo para buscar pues más oportunidades laborales. En el Reino Unido las habían en ese momento y por eso vine a emigrar aquí, fuera de que tenía un pasaporte europeo y me servía para venir a trabajar aquí en el Reino Unido.
¿Y es más difícil para tu familia en Colombia ahora venir a Inglaterra?
Muy difícil, no se puede venir, no hay ninguna manera. Los abuelos de mis hijos, pues ellos son personas pensionadas en Colombia que podían venir anteriormente sin necesidad del visado. Ahora con el visado, ellos ya vinieron con un visado, mucho problema para sacarle el visado a ellos, pues ellos venían a pasear, a conocer los nietos y volver a irse. En el 2015 tuvimos mucho problema para sacarle un visado, lo pudimos hacer, pero se gastó mucho dinero. Y pues nosotros quisiéramos ir a visitarlos, pero también cuando podemos ir a visitarlos por los niños, pues en cuestión de los billetes de avión están supremamente altísimos. Entonces, sancocho de pescado y este es de costilla de res. Caldo de costilla.
On a busy afternoon, Gerardo prepares fish stew and beef rib stew, but also the house specialty, fried belly pork or chicharrón, to feed the biggest Latin American community in London, Elephant and Castle. For Gerardo, La Fogata is not just a restaurant, but a community.
Mucha gente de Colombia y venía mucha gente por el restaurante, me doy cuenta de que venía mucha gente a hacer turismo. Yo sé que pues ha habido gente que vienen con otros pensamientos de quedarse aquí ilegales, pero la mayoría de gente que venía era a hacer turismo de verdad aquí, porque por el restaurante me daba cuenta cuando venían 3, 4 días, mientras conocían los otros, venían y comían aquí y ya luego marchaban para Colombia porque uno interactuaba y hablaba con ellos.
Before, they didn't need to apply in advance, so anyone from Colombia could turn up at the border and just go through, whereas now they can't do that. They have to apply in advance and have that granted before they can come to the UK. So they've done that to reduce the number of Colombians coming in because they're worried about the number of people claiming asylum. And this is something that the Home Office has done with Jordan, maybe Honduras have been added in recent years. So it's something that the previous government did and that this government is doing. And it's mentioned in their white paper as well that they do plan on continuing the use of the visa national list in this way.
So Colombians now need a visa to enter the UK. So it's not entirely new. Until 2022, this used to be the case. But after that, the Conservatives switched to an ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization, which is a simple and quick process that costs £16. Why did they do that? Well, over the last few years, the number of Colombians claiming asylum in the UK has massively increased. There were 468 asylum claims in the first 2 quarters of 2024, compared to 36 between 2019 and 2021. There's been more asylum claims per quarter in 2023 and 2024 than the entire 10 years preceding the visa lift.
¿Intentado aprender el inglés?
Sí, algo, hombre, lo básico lo entiendo para poder hablar, dirigirme con las personas, pero cuando es una cuestión, por lo menos ahora que he experimentado lo del tratamiento, lo del cáncer, pues me parece que tiene que ir con un translator porque es la mejor manera para yo poder entender bien, ¿sí me entiendes? Entonces ese es el miedo de cuando son cosas de papeles o con el gobierno o con el hospital, pues en realidad me gusta buscar un intérprete para poder entender bien y no ir a hacer de pronto alguna embarrada, como llamamos nosotros. Obstáculo, la verdad, es falta de tiempo, más que obstáculo. Porque obstáculo no para ir a aprender, pues hay colegios, hay que ir a pagar, obviamente que es costoso, pero pues más que todo eso es el tiempo que le queda a uno para poder ir a estudiar. En mi caso, yo siempre he trabajado en la comunidad latina. Entonces ese ha sido mi gran obstáculo, trabajar con mi propia comunidad latina, porque eso no me ha forzado a tener que ir afuera a aprender el inglés. La verdad que me da hasta vergüenza esta pregunta, ¿sabes? Porque llevo muchos años y debería llevar ya un inglés debería ser algo obligatorio también.
While Keir Starmer speaks often about tackling small boats, Labour reintroducing Colombia to the visa list follows the government's wider strategy to reduce all types of immigration.
Pues el Prime Minister Keir Starmer se dice que el Reino Unido se podría ser una isla de extranjeros. ¿Qué piensas de eso?
Muy fuerte, no sé. Me parece un comentario, no sé, muy salido de casillas en estos tiempos que estamos viviendo, donde creo que la inmigración hace una buena parte de trabajo que no quieren hacerlos de aquí. Pues me parece un comentario muy fuerte. ¿Qué harían ellos si no fuéramos todos los emigrantes de un momento a otro y quedara solamente la gente de aquí? Me imagino que causarían un gran impacto. Entonces me parece que son palabras muy fuertes, ¿no? Que no deberían de decirse. Nos sentimos un poco discriminados.